Well, hello there. It's Dr. Jim. Thanks for stopping by for some information. I've been writing and shooting video after video after video, and here we are together once again. So my topic for this video and the article, if you want to check that out online as well, is managing resistance to culture change. I talk a lot on my blog and on Collins Learning and on CEU Academy about being leaders in culture change, developing greater philosophies of person-centered care, changing our workplace culture to one of positivity and happiness and so on and so forth. That's all good, but we also have to be realistic and realize that not everybody is jumping on the culture change train. And that's what I'm talking about here. So many healthcare companies and those in other sectors in the economy around the United States and around the world, they find it necessary to hit the reset button, revitalize their corporate image, their philosophies, their policies, procedures, and their overall culture. And in doing so, many employees and other shareholders are likely to go along with whatever changes seem necessary for success. Hey, if it works, let's do it. If it's good for the company, if it's good for our patients and residents, and the bottom line, let's rock and roll. Let's do it. Others, on the other hand, may not be so agreeable and find change something that they do not invite or they don't quite understand. Okay, they may find change threatening to their position within the company, or they just fear change. There are people who just don't like change. Now, me and my David Bowie coffee mug filled with Hawaiian blend. If you have not had it, I can't remember the brand. I wouldn't throw it out there anyway, unless they pay me. But Hawaiian blend, wow. So good. And go get a David Bowie coffee mug because everything is absolutely better in a David Bowie coffee mug. So they might find change fearful. They're fearful of it. But I mean, I know that life is change. Change can be great or good or necessary. That's all there is to it. Nothing remains the same for too long. Leaders, I'm talking to you. You've got to be able to effectively deal with resistance and create more consensus among your staff. And you need to do this to more fully realize the impactful changes that can come when you take culture change seriously. So what is resistance to change? In order to deal with it, we have to define it. Resistance to any changes that companies initiate can be viewed as an employee's attempt to protect themselves from the consequences of change. In other words, it's not change per se that your staff's worried about. It's what follows change. Culture change in particular can bring about radically different ways of performing various tasks, taking on new or completely unknown roles, or working within frameworks of new policies and procedures, working with different people, new people, for instance. Resistance in this sense can be viewed as a form of self-preservation and a strong desire to maintain the status quo. Leave it alone. Keep everything the same. Some employees may simply be cynical and believe the company will fail in their efforts to make any serious changes. So let's just resist, let's laugh, because the company's never going to get this done. Well, there are some negative outcomes to the organization. There are times when change will create division among leaders, management, and your staff. Culture change is great, but there can be some negative consequences or residual consequences down the line. On one side will be the individuals who are willing to go along with changes, and on the other side, those who oppose, they deny, and they resist. This sets the inevitable stage for adverse outcomes for both the organization and for your staff. Now, at the organizational level, resistance can cause serious delays in new developments and improvements that would do what? Strengthen your company, make more money, have better patient-resident outcomes, whatever the case is, improve quality of care, improve quality of life. Associated with such delays, money. We're talking about expenses and higher costs as the company struggles to effectively respond to the new demands and the challenges and the resistance. Okay, what about negative outcomes to employees? We're talking about culture change and resistance. When change produces division among staff, any number of negative outcomes can develop. For one, negative attitudes and behaviors can set the stage for lowering morale and a loss in productivity. After a while, a drop in job satisfaction can lead to reduced creativity, motivation, and for some employees, they may begin to think about leaving the organization. Chronic division among staff can also lead to physical and emotional stress and burnout, and a lot more. It becomes increasingly difficult to trust. It becomes increasingly difficult, listen to this, to trust people that we've worked with for a long time. Because now you don't share the same vision as I do. You want to take the company somewhere else, and I don't want to. I've worked with you for 20 years, and now I have a problem with you. See what I'm saying? Why does resistance happen? Leadership can avoid all of this by doing a couple things. Provide information and be very clear about what you're talking about. Although there may always be doubting Thomases, or 2 or 3 or more, in every company organization, resistance to changes, big or small, can be skirted by leadership being as open and honest about what is going to take place in the company. A lack of information is nothing but a blank chalkboard, which employees are going to fill up with their own ideas, their own worries, false information, and gossip. If you leave a blank for your employees to fill in, how many things can they come up with? That's why you have to tell them exactly what, when, why, who and where. All of that. Give them the information. Give them the info they need. When leaders leave a gap in information, staff will fill it. And guess what? It's not always going to be accurate information. This is where really bad info is born. But I continue. Communicate change, and with a great sense of urgency, just like I'm doing now. Can you feel the urgency? Sometimes resistance develops because leadership is too slow with the needed information. Or a little bit of news trickles out here and it trickles out there. Bad. Don't do that. Nobody wants the drip, drip, drip of information. Employees want the news. They want what's going on. Otherwise, you're going to get gossip. You're going to get false information. So, get away from that. Go with this. Develop good, crystal clear statements. Communicate them well with a sense of urgency that needs to be articulated to your staff, identifying what needs to be changed and why it needs to be changed, as well as the benefits that should be reaped post-change. Okay, so it's not only what is said. As you could tell, I emote. I'm from the William Shatner School of Acting. Spock! I really like Billy. You know this. This is nothing different. I'm not telling you anything you don't know. It's not what you say all the time. It is how you say it. You can deliver terrible news with urgency, with love and care and dignity and respect. So, if you're going through change and you need to communicate, do so in manners and ways that your staff will connect with you. Your message will resonate with them. And remember this, they may not remember everything you tell them, but they will remember how you made them feel when you did communicate your message of change. I'm Dr. Jim. That's all I really have. So change is going to take place. It's not always bad. But one thing we could all learn is to communicate better. You will deal with resistance. When you do, confront it, communicate crystal clear, have some urgency, and be very aware of how you deliver the information. So I'm Dr. Jim signing out, but keep coming back for more because I never, ever, ever stop on my quest in research. Well, I certainly hope you enjoyed the video, and thank you very much for your time. If you'd like more information about a great online learning management system with the most wonderful support, best in class support, and partnering, please look for the link to the website in the description. You'll love what you see.